The theme song is considered to be one of Vito Conchi's seminal and most successful pieces. This piece, as most of his pieces from this period are, is performance-based, formally simple and crudely executed. It is characterized by intense, language-driven psychological play with both self and the viewer. Here he is, Vito. He is lying on the floor of the apartment. This private space already puts the viewer in a certain context. His face is in the extreme close-up, and he is looking at the camera while casually smoking and singing along with the song.
Can see your face in my mind. I can see your face in my mind. Of course I can't see your face. I have no idea what your face looks like.
During 33 minutes of this one-frame shot, Akonchi plays different well-known tunes that act like a trigger for his stream of consciousness monologues. These monologues are indeed the commonplaces of the human needs and desires. He is inviting and seducing the viewer through the strange mixture of what seems to be both manipulation and honesty.
Sure, you'll come in here, no? Oh, no, don't cry. I mean, why would you cry? When I should be the one who's crying. I don't know if there's anybody there. I don't know if you want to come in here. Oh, look at me with the
As the time passes, he slowly immerses the spectator in the piece by getting more and more personal.
Hey, you could be anybody out there. We don't need any illusions. We don't want any illusions, right? I know I have to wait for you to come to me. I know that I can't make the first move myself. Because I've always dreamed about you. I mean, anyone I was ever with. I was really thinking about you, though. The dream was really you. You could fulfill all the dreams I had. All you have to do is ring the bell. I'll just be here waiting for you again.
The complexity of the piece functions on multiple levels. In his works, Akonchi is often exploring the relation between I and you and between public and private self. In her essay, Video, The Aesthetic of Narcissism, Rosalind Krauss proposes that the mechanism of narcissism is equivalent to the medium of video. She uses Akonchi's work centers as an example. Taken out of the context, this piece has served as a supporting argument for her idea, as she interpreted Vito's gesture of pointing to the center of the screen as him pointing to himself. What is overlooked is the simple and obvious fact that Vito is pointing towards the viewer. In Krauss's writing, the perceiver is omitted. Now, acknowledging this, the effect is different to the opposite end. As Anne Wagner writes in her essay Performance, Video and the Rhetoric of Presence, quote, by these means, the performance becomes double-sided. Actor and the viewer are locked in the pas de deux. In the theme song, this relationship has been taken to a higher level, strangely attacking viewers' private space with its intimate tone and making Vito's virtual presence confusingly real. The viewer finds himself in a peculiar situation in which he or she feels that he or she is exactly the person that he is referring to. One of the comments on the YouTube says, I hate this video. It makes me feel like Vito has kidnapped me and is trying to convince me, and himself, that I will enjoy the rape to follow. This comment admits the effectiveness of Akonchi's approach. It is hard not to believe the aliveness of his presence. He states, I can feel your body right next to me. I know I am only kidding myself, you're not here. But the fact that he acknowledges that this face-to-face situation is fake just makes it more real. This play with the idea of presence, present, and immediate is in a way typical of early video works. Immediacy, as William Kaisen discusses, was at that time seen as the characteristic of the video, to the point of recognizing it as video's medium. Unlike film, video has inherited this dimension of perceiving it as a real time from television. Akonchi himself makes this distinction by treating film and video as different artistic vehicles. For him, film is landscape, video is close-up. Film is silent, video is sound. Film is history, video is news. Film is physical, video is mental. Akonchi also writes, I was thinking of video as a place where my face on screen faces a viewer's off-screen. A place for talk, for me talking to you, the viewer. What is peculiar in Akonchi's work is the strange mixture of the opposing and often discussed qualities of video as a medium, one being its immersive and the other its reflexive and critical tendency. In Teen Song, the viewer loses his or her objectivity and is at the same time driven to reflect upon the state that he or she finds him or herself in. In her essay Dissolution of the Frame, Immersion and Participation in Video Installations, Ursula Frohn discusses these two propensities of moving image mediums. She states, quote, the core of the entertainment culture is based on people yearning to be in other places, taking on other identities. Akonchi's work is immersive, but unlike this identifying character of the cinema or the characteristic of some more recent video installations that use all possible technological means to draw a viewer into the virtual reality of the piece, Vito does it with the exactly opposite method, producing the opposite effect. As Frohn writes, Akonchi has used medially heightened physical presence of the virtual protagonist and also physical, psychological, and institutional framework conditioned to imply a real-life situation. The immersive character of this piece can be seen as, although still in the mind of the spectator, actually working other way around. Involuntarily, a viewer lets Vito become a part of reality. At the same time, the viewer becomes extremely aware of himself being manipulated every time that Vito changes a tape and starts a new line of monologue based on the tune. Still, every time the viewer stops believing, Vito acknowledges the deceit too, bringing one back into the piece. This play doesn't stop. Well, for us nowadays, this is not something unfamiliar. This reception aesthetic was something new at the time. However, Akonchi's work doesn't easily fit in a frame of tendencies of 70s. As Frohn writes, performative practices of the time were focused mainly on body and the mind, while social and media conditions were explored through film and video. Akonchi's work is a strong mixture of all these aspects, and its product is so extremely idiosyncratic that it is elevated high above discourses peculiar to a certain time.